This video will change your life. I promise you, I guarantee you. If you don't know where you're going at in life, if you need help with habits, with self-control, self-respect, boundaries, standards, values, this video and the series to come will teach you all of that and then some. So each week, each video is going to take on similar formats. There might be some sort of small adjustments depending on how heavy each chapter might be. But this week, we're going to do habits that I hope you consider or adopt. Your weekly prompt answers, because you need to be journaling, writing. You can put it in the comments if you feel comfortable, or you can write it on a piece of paper and put it in your binder. So in the future, if you ever find yourself needing to refer back to the same prompt, or you want to do that prompt again, you can go back to your prompt section. Elaborations will be brought out through each point that I make in this video, and then a book recommendation, because knowledge is power and we can read books together. So we're going to start with habits. I'm only going to give you guys 3 for this one, just because I think it's important to start off small and build, knowing that you can develop self-trust, discipline, consistency, motivation, and all that beautiful stuff along the way. The first habit that I want you to consider or adopt this week is self-compassion. Now, you can do the binder 2 different ways. You can just have one really long list according to the amount of habits that you want to adopt in general, or you can do multiple pieces of paper and kind of put week 1, week 2, or chapter 1 and have it like all based on your self-image. These are the habits I'm going to do for my self-image. And let's say chapter 2 is based on like boundaries and standards. These are the habits I'm going to adopt for boundaries and standards. So it's totally up to you. Of course, it's your binder, it's you, it's selfish. So I literally advocate and support your decisions. Okay, so the first one is self-compassion. Now, self-compassion can be defined in so many different ways, but my way is when people make mistakes, because mistakes are inevitable. That's how we learn and that's how we grow, and that's a human error. And human errors aren't always a bad thing, because like I said, you learn and you grow from it. So keep that in mind. What self-compassion means in this sense is adopting a healthier outlook on yourself. When you mess up, instead of saying, "I'm so stupid," or just full-on nasty, degrading comments about yourself, you're going to take a step back, look at the situation, look at the circumstance, look at the spilt milk, and say, "That was so human of me. That was so human of me." Because why would you be against yourself in something that you will learn from 5 years from now, 5 months from now, 5 weeks from now? Whatever it is, everything brings wisdom. It's your choice to grow and evolve or to stay the same. So, self-compassion, a healthier outlook on mistakes, because yes, they're frustrating. Yes, it is so easy to play the victim and say, "Well, I did this, I spilled the milk, and like, I just can't touch milk, it's so hard." You're not the only one, but what you can do and be the only one is to get ready and start healing now. So you can say, "That was human of me, I'm gonna learn from it, I'm gonna keep going." Something that truly helps me as someone that was also starting out with the binder and starting out with learning myself, learning my identity, learning what works for me, was why. Why am I doing any of this? Because in reality, I could be one of those people that nobody likes hanging out with, truly, and just gloat about myself, about fake things, and I can be the most angry, upset, projected version of myself, or it will eat away at my soul bit by bit and leave me eventually with no purpose, and I will truly hit rock bottom. So in order to avoid that altogether, I ask myself why. Every single day, for anything that I'm doing, I ask myself why. This is a habit that goes hand in hand with setting goals, which we'll get into because that's my second habit I want you to adopt. But if you're not living with intention, you're not living with a purpose. Everything needs to be done with intention. The second habit that I want you to adopt is setting realistic goals. Now, if you watch the TikTok, if you don't know where you're going in life, give me 2 seconds of your time. 2 seconds. Get a binder, okay, and get some paper in the binder. Nothing that is outside of you will ever be inside this binder. Understood? You're going to make a you binder not a notebook, nothing else. We talk. You saw in my TikTok that I don't believe any goals unrealistic. You can come to me with some of the weirdest, most outrageous sounding goals, and I will not bat an eye because I have changed the way I look at goals. Social media has truly created this brain rot thing of comparison of, if they have it, I have to have it too. If they have this, if they started there, if all of these things, if they have these things, I will be happy if I have it too. That's just not true. And those shouldn't be your goals. What somebody else has should not be your goal. Your goal in life should always be tunnel vision on what is working for you outside of social media, outside of your relationship, outside of your friendships. It needs to be a selfish goal that wakes you up in the morning and is like, I'm ready for this day. Third habit that I want you to adopt or consider this week is what I call breaking up negative thoughts. And it's a little bit of something that will take time to get used to. But if you have your phone, you can always type it out. So anytime that I have a negative thought or a self-doubting thought, or I'm just like icky and I'm like in my head and I'm having all these like anxiety thoughts, I will be so quick to bring out my phone or my notebook and I'll write it out or I'll type it out. And when I'm feeling better or feeling a little bit more stable, I will go back and I'm going to ask myself some questions. So like, what was I currently feeling for me to kind of guide myself into that mindset? What am I feeling right now as I'm breaking it down? Did something trigger that feeling? Is there a way that I can avoid that next time? Or is there a way that I can control how I react to it? So what you're doing is you're analyzing this moment in time where you were doubting yourself, where you were questioning what path you were going on, and you're telling yourself, no, I'm okay. I'm gonna figure it out. Because that's all you can really do, is be able to, when you find yourself falling off a path, to pick yourself up and realign with what you're valuing. The next page is going to be called affirmations. You are going to take this page and you're going to make it your own, just like every other page in this binder. It's going to be, if you're new to affirmations, I want you to try I am present tense. So I am beautiful. I am smart. Whatever works, do it. Whatever makes you feel good, say it. So it's going to be awkward at first, but what you're going to do is take 3 or 4 if you're beginning, or if you're just like, oh, I've done this before. As many as you're comfortable with, you're going to go in front of a mirror every morning, every single morning before you touch your phone. And you're going to say, I am beautiful to myself. And it might feel awkward, but eventually you're going to be saying it like nothing. It's going to feel like dead serious. I am beautiful. I am smart. I am this. Go ahead and say it, because if you're not controlling your day, if you're not controlling your voice, someone will control it for you. You're gonna do this practice for a week straight, and you're gonna come back to me and you're gonna go in the comments and you're gonna be like, you called it, because I did. The next page is called the detoxing page. This page is probably one of the more important, heavier pages, but this is kind of like a baby-ish step towards our next week video, so prepare yourself. Now you're gonna have a few pages for this, but we're gonna start with the first one. The first one is gonna be labeled detoxing page, and it's stuff like that I personally like going through and making sure like, oh, I'm up to date with these things. So I like to make sure my emails are cleaned out, and then I've like responded to anything. Clothing, so anything with like holes or that are older and might be like threading, like peeling apart a little bit. So I like to write all those things down. There's like photos in your photo gallery, physical photos of maybe people or friends or relationships that you're just over, but you never really got rid of the photos. This page is asking you to let go. It's not always easy to do, but it's so necessary for yourself. Like I said, this binder is selfish. It's asking you what works for you, what makes you feel good. And it's asking you, do you feel like you're worth this work? And the truth is you are, but you're so blinded by external circumstances that you can't see internally. That's the first one. I'm going to obviously show you examples. Then the next page is going to be prompts. You can totally alter the prompts that I'm going to be providing for you, but these are kind of like beginners. So there are 3 prompts I'm going to provide for you. Of course, totally alter it to whatever you prefer. And if you're someone that's getting used to journaling or really internally looking, 1 sentence will do when you begin. The point is you're working on yourself, and I couldn't be prouder for you. So the first one is asking you if people in your life represent the values you have. Now, if you don't know your values, I'm going to ask you in a few minutes to actually write a list out of your values. So if you want to start with that, go on ahead. But if you've never heard the saying, your net worth is your net worth. You are who you allow in your inner circle. Your friends represent you. So if your friends are out partying and they're smoking and they're drinking and they don't care about anything except that, you're looking into your future. If you're someone like me that's going through like the awkward 20s phase where you just don't have any friends, this is the time to work on yourself. This is the time to ask yourself, I'm ready to be the best version of myself so I can attract like-minded people. Because I will tell you and I will promise you, the people who you do not align with will fall out of your life like that. You're allowed to alter your life and your reality. Nobody's telling you not to except you. The second prompt might be a little bit heavier for some people, but it is so necessary to do. You're going to write a letter to the good people, to the bad people, to the ugly people. The people that have done you so wrong that when you think of them, you still get so angry. You're going to take those emotions and you're going to choose yourself amongst all that red vision, that red anger, that blur, and you're going to pour it onto a piece of paper. It might take you a lot of writing. If you're a typer, it might take a lot of typing. You're going to get it out. You might want to tear up the piece of paper after. You might want to throw it out. You can keep it in the binder. Whatever works for you, you're going to do it because it's necessary. This can be people that are still in your life. This can be people that you don't have in your life anymore. This can be people that are in no contact. Whatever the circumstance is, it needs to be written about and it needs to get out. You might have a long list of people and this might take you years to do, but you're worth the years of work. The last prompt is really asking you, are you watering down your authentic self? Now, this can be in general, or this can be around a particular person. This can be around certain situations. Whatever is going on, it's asking you, are you true to yourself or are you true to others? Because you can't be one or the other. You're allowed to be loud and you're allowed to be annoying. You're allowed to be whatever suits you, because if that person is going out of their way to make you feel less than, that person is not your person. It took me years to learn that, yeah, I'm talkative. I am. I like doing what I do. And it's gotten me thus far. So if you think that I talk too much, that's an issue you need to deal with. Then you need to not be my friend, because I'm not losing anything. I'm not losing myself for you. So you're gonna take your time with this. Again, you can look on Pinterest, you can look on Google, you can look up YouTube videos. I have a list that I'm going to show you guys as well, and it's going to be just all your values. It can be a beautiful, passionate, long list, or it can be 3 things. It could be 1 thing. The point is we're figuring out where you're starting. And that's the whole point of chapter 1 is self-image. Where are we at? Where are we going with this? We're going to build off of it. And everybody has a different starting point. So don't worry, don't stress, but do keep in mind if one of your standards is, or values is like, oh, I value people who think of the small things, then you better be a person that thinks of the small things for other people. You can't expect what you can't give. It doesn't work like that. After all those heavy things that we just discussed, I want to leave you guys with something fun and that can be enjoyed for your U-binders. So you can make a list of movies and TV shows that you plan on watching in the future, that you have watched, that you want to review, or it can be books if you're not like a movie and TV person, or it can be places that you plan on traveling. Whatever works for you, that's the important thing. I want it to be an activity list. So again, anything that you want to pick up on. I'm not somebody that watches a lot of shows, movies, so I have like so many that I need to get to. But it's something that is a habit that's identified for you, so that way when you're getting to that point that's like, I have nothing to do, you should never not have something to do. There's always something to work on for yourself, and if it's watching a movie, it's watching a movie. I personally have one online and then like my physical copy. I like the one online, it's on Notion, and I can just like add and, you know, cross out the things that I've seen. Like I've watched Just Go With It like hundreds of times, but I like to have it on there just because it's a good little reference movie for whenever I'm feeling down. This week's book recommendation is Grit by Angela Duckworth. It is a book that I had to read for one of my college classes, and I really liked it. It was the difference between people who just have that it factor or like a talent versus people who are disciplined and have grit. So they're able to persevere versus just being born with it. I do recommend that if you're someone that's looking for a key way to measure or understand what discipline really is. As the weeks go by, we're going to be progressing on the U-binder. I'm so grateful and so privileged to even be able to make a YouTube video, let alone talk about stuff that I'm so passionate about. So link down below is going to be my TikTok if you want to follow me there. If you don't, that's okay. Do subscribe so I can make more videos and have more fun with you all. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video.